And we're back to another episode of Let's Play Wild Arms 2 Second Ignition. I'm your host, the RPG Guy. And, yeah, more shit to do. Okay, so let's get to it. So before we bother with our dealings with taking care of Tim and making sure we get him squared away, we're going to make it our mission to do some other stuff. Because we can do it now. We don't have to do it later. We can do it now. And why save later for something for later that you can do now? So the first thing is first, we need to enter Valeria Chateau. And we actually need to go talk to Irving's sister. God, it was so hard to say that. We have to talk to Irving's sister. Altacia. I keep saying Altacia. And she's actually going to give us a clue to our first little bonus area, our first little secret zone that we've not had access to until, Jesus. That we will not have had access to till this point. No, must be a different room. Must be over here. Wait a minute, isn't it on the... No, she's in the kitchen, though. Yeah, she's always in the kitchen. Okay. There is a windswept cave far to the northwest by a landing pad no one knows about. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Yay! So, that's the clue you have to unlock before you can even find this place. So, I'm just saying, you're better off doing it now than waiting later. And like I said, if we get this done now, we'll be pretty well off. Oh, I guess I went too deep. You're in too deep. Alright. And really, I'm just going to get this ready because surprisingly, this is what the hell? Still not in the right place. Can't take me anywhere. Ah, here we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and head. In order to fly again, you gotta head back to the console. Not even this console, you gotta head all the way. Talk to this guy or something. So annoying, I know. Okay, so in order to get to this place that his sister was talking about, we gotta actually head this way. We're kind of looking for something specific. Which I didn't find over here, so it usually implies that I passed it. Okay, so here's this giant volcano-looking thing, okay? What we're gonna now do is we're gonna pretty much head west from there. I believe that's where we want to go, yeah. I think it is. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was where we were looking. So, it's gotta be this. I was gonna say, it's like, for some reason I thought it was the island, and then, like, as you fly over it, it appears, but then I realized that's a different game. That's a different game. Alright. So, yes, we're here now where we want to be. Yeah, there's some enemies out here. Nothing to worry about too much. You can actually see the discoloration in the ground, and here's the Wind Tiger's den. In the den, in the jungle, the tiger's jungle. Wait, never mind. Okie dokie. Keep moving. Ignore her. All we gotta do is light some torches. Now this might seem easy, but there's a catch. Wind viciously blows through here and doesn't just make your character move, but more importantly, you don't just move, like slide in a direction, but it blows out all your torches. So this becomes more of a trial of getting through and killing getting all the torches lit before the wind blows it out. And how does one go about doing that? It's not hard, but it is very tricky. And so you're going to see how that plays out in a little bit here. I'm putting my characters back in the order I like too. Drives me nuts that Brad's in the middle. I don't like Brad in the middle. Don't ask me why. It's complicated. Ah, damn it. And you don't have to be able to see the actual torch. So one of the things that's important is bam. It didn't reach. Son of a bitch. There we go. You don't have to have it absolutely, you don't have to be in perfect sight of what you're trying to torch. You just need to make sure that the fireball's heading the right way. Oh, the wind doesn't push you. Ah, well, whatever. Okay, another room full of crazed chaos. Simple enough. Bam, bam, and bam. It looks hard, but it's not. It really isn't. That's why it's nice to come here really early on, because you can power through this pretty quickly. Just gotta cross the bridge, and looky here. And we get Fengalon, who's an interesting medium. It makes your character move faster, which is great for someone like Brad, who really moves slow. So we'll actually put it on Brad. It makes Brad move a little faster. Actually, he doesn't even need it right now, so I'm not gonna bother. But it makes Brad move faster, and where other characters move slower. And his special ability is pickpocket, so you can steal items from enemies. This is important for later. Why it's worth getting now, especially when things like, lucky cards are put in question. Do I need to say more? Stealing lucky cards? That's a good idea. We can't do it yet, but to have someone that can do it when the time comes, it's why it's really important to make sure we come over this way. Alright, now we get to make our way back to our ship. Up, up, and away. Alright, so now we need to head to what's called Basker. Basker is not far from where we were when we started, so we gotta actually take this sucker all the way back to Maria. Could just teleport there, but that would be a waste of money. I can literally just fly there. Alright. So, let's see. We need to want to head this way. I'm still going the wrong way, aren't I? There's that place. Okay. I want to head this way. And what you're doing is you're just going to keep heading kind of southwest-ish until you see a bunch of forests. And that'll tell you you've been going the right way. You can recognize that area we've been in the past. There it is right there. So go ahead and land us our plane. Our chateau plane. And so now that we've landed, our goal is to now head to Basker. As well as be someone I want to look at. Don't care so much for Lilica, I really don't. Don't worry about that lower ledge, there's really no point to it. You can't get down there until much later in the game, so you'll just have to hold tight. Well, speaking of hold tight, what I'm going to actually spend like the whopping 2 minutes it'll take to do is Lilica is like 11 XP from leveling, so she just needs another battle, even if it's with a bomb. I'd rather her be leveled up as well for what's coming up next. And it'll make sense in a moment, I swear. Come on. Any fucking time, sweetheart. May as well reveal the city, I guess. Or the town, rather. There we go. That's where Basker Town is. Or Basker. Some people call it Basker Colony, Basker Town. It really doesn't matter. And I know it looks weird. It's a little problem with the video, which is why the character doesn't show up on the overworld. And this should be enough to level her up. There we go. Now I feel better. Okay, let's go ahead and continue. You did all that for just that? Yeah. The next big thing that's coming up is going to be kind of boring, and I'll show it. Most of this episode is going to be boring. There's not going to be a lot to see after the few of the events that take place here, because a lot of explanation into what's going to happen needs to happen here, because a lot of people don't understand it, and they actually stop playing this game because they don't quite understand the mechanics of what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so we're going to apparently talk to the chief. What if Sabrina the Guardian Sorceress? That's nice to know. Sabrina the Guardian Sorceress inspired us. She fell in love and visited a merc and bore his child. He was given the name of Tim and was loved by all until he was 3. She learned that her love died from injuries sustained on a mission. You don't say. Yeah, really, why did you give a shit? It is plain to see that Tim has inherited his ability from Sabrina, but in this village there is another who also has the ability. You shall meet her soon. Oh, okay, so there's 2 of them. Right now we're in control of Tim, so yep, Tim becomes a player, and that's why I wanted to get Lilica up to 22, because I don't remember if it's the lowest level person or if it's the highest level person or whatever. Anyway, before we go into the chief's hut, or house rather, I want to make sure we grab, that looks like the chief's house, but okay, let's go up here. One of these houses has a chest in it. It wasn't in here, was it? Did I just miss it? Alright, whatever. Oh, there it is. I don't know why I thought it was in a house. Hard gear, yay! Which is not something he can equip. But let's put the... For now... Let's put the mittens on him. It'll make sense in a little bit. What we're really going to be doing with him. What is this? I like how she's having this subconscious crazy thought. And no, that is not something I can control, how fast she goes through that dialogue, so you better read it closely. Standard teenage kid babble. You can name her whatever you want, but we'll stick with Colette. That light, it's coming out of your wiener. Guess that worked out. You don't say. You don't say. In order to fully realize his potential as a pillar, he must undergo the trial. Great. Fortune telling at its finest. Indeed, it's too early to know what any of this garbage means, so, So I like how... Okay, so, in other words, if Tim doesn't go through with this talking to the Guardians ceremony thing, obviously Colette has to do it, and because Tim's doing it, in a sense, to protect Colette. So... So our mission is to now protect Tim from anything bad happening to him. Fair enough. Shouldn't be too hard. Shouldn't be being the proper point to make. Alright. Well, we're in control. of the entire party. And yes, Tim in place of Lilka is probably fine for right now. As they're going to level at about the same time anyway. So what we need to do first is... There's a few things we should do first. Let's go ahead and leave. There's also there's also a merchant here, and there's also where is he? And there's also an armsmith somewhere. I forget where they are. We don't really need them at all right now, so let's go ahead and move on and leave town. South of the village. Don't worry, it's not going to be hard for us to find, and we're not going to go there right away anyway. So there's other things that are more important to do. You also have to keep in mind too, Tim, even at level 22, his HP is ridiculously low. So how do we counterbalance this? Well, that's not too hard to do, actually. We'll take our teleport gem and go back to the town of Maria. And we're going to take care of a few things first. The first thing we need to do is get Tim's PS skills maxed out as best as we can, starting with HP up and physical defense up. From there, we'll talk about Tim and his mechanics and the most important issues and problems that arise with his mechanics. Alright, first things first, up HP all the way, and then up physical defense all the way. And then we'll obviously put him up magic attack because he's actually a caster type. Now, okay, well, let me explain how Tim works, and this is where a lot of people get confused with using him. Tim requires a couple of things. First of all, he needs a medium on him at almost all times. The other thing is that as Tim kills enemies, I repeat, as he kills enemies, he will learn offensive magical abilities and defensive magical abilities. He has to dish out the killing blow. It's not optional. It's not something he can passively do. He has to dish out the finishing blow. So what this guide means is for every summon there's usually for every guardian there's usually 2 spells that you can learn from one guardian. The goal is really to have Tim learn first aid, which is the most effective of all of his spells for the majority of the game. He needs to kill 5 enemies to learn that, and then he should learn each of his current elemental powers, finally resting him on probably his current summon, or actually better yet, let him finish his current summon and then let him pick up the stronger summon abilities as well as the turn undead ability through Urdiuk, which will actually get some work done already. So this is what we do. We go to where the weakest enemies in the game are, and pretty much we grind fest Tim. A lot of people find this frustrating. It is. It really, really, really is. Now, Tim gets better at doing this without having to do this. The first step to Tim mastering this set of abilities is when he gets an AoE skills, some of the AoE offensive magic skills. I don't believe any of the current summons grant that. I don't think they do anyway. We can check right now. Oh, it does. So he could learn like this spell, this ability. So he needs to kill 3 more to learn first aid, and we'll have him learn each of the different elemental abilities. And in all honesty, it's probably in our best interest for him to pick up like Gravitron, which requires 15 FP. He has a high enough level to cast it. No, he doesn't actually. And I take that back. There's no point in him learning Gravitron right now. He's better off learning Turn Undead. So let's pick up one of each of those single targeted abilities, and we'll pick up first aid. And the reason I'm going to keep showing me doing some of this is so you can see what he can actually do. I could go to the temple right now, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to do it. And I just want to show you evidence that this is the right way to go about doing this. And perfect. 3 enemies for us to kib. Perfect timing. I'm not going to show me learning every skill. I just want to show you what happens once Tim learns this skill and you see the functionality. Tim, arguably, for a big chunk of the game, becomes your go-to guy for casting magic over Lilka. And you're about to see why. Lilka's learned almost all of her spells that she can learn at this exact moment. That's the other fact that you have to kind of understand. She's practically done with her current learning of spells. So there we go. First aid can be used. And why is first aid so important? You're about to find out. First aid is just amazing. It's not great early. It's not... Well, no, it's great early on. It loses a lot of its potential by end game, but it's still damn good. And like I said, Tim is easily the best character in the game. Easily. As far as casters go, there's technically 3 casters in the game. The third caster, Lilith, is probably the worst caster by end game. Even, you know, so see, there's first aid there, but he needs to be level 24 before he can use it at will. So not entirely the best means. So if we can, we'll put Fangalon on him now, because he's going to learn a new skill now in this battle, and you're going to see what it is. Very low cost offensive magic spell. I believe he should be able to cast right away. He only costs 15 FP. Only requires 3 damage to 3 kills to get it, so it won't take very long. We block all that. And this should end the battle. And he should get a new his first offensive magic ability, Sonic Claw. And there it is. And now that it's learned, he doesn't have to mess around with it, that medium again, until he's learned everything else. And he can now use that spell to kill enemies, I believe. So let's go ahead and remove all of these from our characters so he can deal with it accordingly. And that way, so he's already learned Fangalon. Let's do Dark next. And I'll show you where, again, First Aid is learned, and Sonic Claw, which is a single target wind attack. So he's going to learn all of the single target attacks that he can learn. Then we're going to put Ordia back on Tim. And I don't see myself really working on his AoE ones yet, though I guess I could get them all done now. Okay, so we've gotten Tim all beefed up. I went ahead. It took 30 minutes to learn all of his skills. The question becomes, is it worth doing? Absolutely. 30 minutes to learn all his skills and then re-equip everybody else with their original summons is definitely a good idea. Which is in turn why I'm doing it. So, anyway, so yeah, it's worth the effort. It is, just to get it out of the way. And what'll happen is whenever we pick up a new Guardian, all we got to do is go ahead and learn all the skills for Tim. We don't have to do anything else. So yeah, there's no reason to just cut loose right away with it. You know, just go in. You know, when you get a new medium, just put it on Tim. Have him learn it as fast as he can. At least go back to Maria and let him learn the base spell first. Is my recommendation, is to really let him go back and learn that base spell. Once he's learned the base spell, the secondary spell is not nearly as important, because we're talking 80 deaths or 80 kills on Tim, and until he starts AoEing things, that's a long time to learn one spell that you may not find yourself using. I will say, as there are important spells to learn for Tim, we will make our greatest effort to learn them. But unless you want to sit in one place and grind 80 kills, you know, you're talking 30, 40 battles of fighting balloons and only you being able to hit one of them, it's not worth it. And when he hits level 50, he'll be learning skills really fast. Even in that means, because he can just kill everything in one turn. So then you go to like Holst, and fight assassin bats where they're in groups of 4. And then you just hit all of them at once, and there's 4 right there. 10 battles is 40. Some of the highest spells in the game require 80, 75 to 99 kills, which is a lot. Aww. Isn't it so special? Aren't they just cute? They're so cute. They're not cute at all. I'm not amused. Okay, you can get your soul to communicate with your sleeping old ruler guardians. Yeah, really, who are you? What? Among the various spheres, Pooka is special. The sense of self is weak. I can't explain it. In other words, Pooka is Pooka, and at the same time, there's something else. Do you understand? Sense of self is weak. By taking on other information matrices, one can copy other forms. In other words, he's the true medium. He takes the powers of the guardians, or not guardians, he takes the powers of the mediums, and he can actually turn into the mediums himself. More will be explained. Just leave it at that. Well, there. So he kind of explained what I was just telling you guys earlier about how you go about learning skills with him. So, in other words, using Pooka allows he can move anywhere within this grayed out square, and what it allows you to do is press multiple buttons at the same time. He can grab chests from across the room that you normally would not have been able to reach on your own. The list goes on relatively moderately, but modestly, but it goes on. It's nothing incredibly special, but it's there for you to know. So Tim being the other caster, what's nice about Tim is by default he has almost all the elemental spells except Spark. Right? Fangalon gives him wind, so he doesn't have a lightning spell yet. He also doesn't have a couple of other types. But what's interesting is he already has an AoE opportunity. Can he do it right away? No! Of course not. But he's close. He's already pretty close. You know, if a battle gets so complicated... Wait a minute, did I just go backwards? Yes, I must have. Yeah, I went back the way I came. Brilliant. Let's just double check. There's 2 different ways we can go here. My impression is to go this way. Like that was hard to cross. The thing with Tim is that he has more skill, more character access early on in the game, and because it's really early in a sense for him to have such access to such, you know, powerful abilities. It's just neat to see that he can do it. It's not some people think that it's kind of broken that he can do it and whatnot. I don't think that there's necessarily anything broken about it, but regardless, he can do it, and he does it very easily. I feel like I'm missing something. I just want to make sure I go back and get it. I think I'm missing something here, which is why I'm making a small effort to go back and get it. Yeah, almost missed that. There we go. So, anyway, for what it's worth, yeah, I almost missed this chest. Let's grab that heart leaf. And we're good. Okay, now we go back the way we were to the area where I grabbed the 2 crests. I knew I was forgetting something like... Wait a minute. I grabbed the crest, but isn't there supposed to be another item? Think about it. That's what it was. So anyway, damn it. Tim becomes quickly one of the strongest characters through the central portion of the game. His magic, for the most part, outshines, significantly outshines, what's her name? Lilka. So, and his healing is actually the best. You're going to see this right here. The other thing you can also do is pass his FP to other characters, his unused FP. So as long as he has enough FP to heal, I'm always happy to push his FP onto Ashley to help him get to Nightblazer faster. There's lots of rational things that Tim is good at, and so number one, the AoE healing is just amazing to have. It's like a godsend to be able to for him to have that, right as early as right now. A lot of people will run into this dungeon really quickly and not teach him first aid, and the game just gets really hard because you just don't have an efficient way of healing people, of healing your characters, where Tim kind of is the remedy for that. Yeah, Lilka can do it, and she's got Mystic to help, but you're wasting lots of items. You're not very efficient. Tim is actually quite fast. It's not hard to make a good character out of him, so Tim's kind of our long-term replacement for a lot of different things. Okay, let me see. So what we need to do is from here, Pooka's gotta. Can Pooka reach that? Yeah, you can if I'm at a diagonal. Yeah, I just totally reached that. Yeah, so that one's a little trickier to get to. And we're across. Not hard at all. It just looks intimidating if you don't know what you're doing. I don't feel like fighting anything right now. Ah! Side door. And mini carrots, which are always quite useful. And then all the way north. So anyway, here we go. Bring it. Plant monster. Luckily for us, he only has one body part, so we don't have to fool around too much with trying to kill it. All you need to do is, number one, conserve ammo. There's no reason to spend it. Tim's gonna deal with most of this stuff anyway. Hit him with, Red Butte, that would be a fire ability, and actually we can pickpocket from this guy, which is why I like giving Fangalong to Brad, primarily because he kind of benefits from the speed boost and I don't need to use him right away. Look at that, massive damage. It was only going to take 2 to 3 of those attacks to win this battle, and he's not even doing damage to us. Isn't that just great? Pickpocket. And fail. Well, if you're lucky, you can steal a big berry from him, so it's kind of nice to be able to do that. Alright, Brad is confused. We don't want that. And Red Butte should probably win the battle for us, most likely. I've taken damage and Tim is asleep. So that implies we need to wake him up. With... which one is it? Oh wow, I don't actually have it. Ah well. May as well just attack him at this point. And once Tim wakes up, he can heal the rest of the group. But I think the boss will be dead by then. Yep. One hit. No reason to use a thing. So don't worry too much about that. Sorry, I can't think of another way to explain it so much, but easy win. Easy win. Duh. So these gotta go in further. Great. Right? Alright, speaking of going in further, let's do so. And we'll probably make sure we hit up a random battle just so we can heal our characters. Though they really don't need it, but whatever. Just to be on the safe side. Though the next boss battle, it's not going to matter anyway. Tim's going to pretty much own that entire setup. So we'll make a little save and we'll move in deeper. So we're interrupted yet again by more dialogue. Yes, yes, yes. And in turn, that's the whole point right there. So, if you're wondering what Combine is, rather than listen to this convoluted dialogue, Combine is actually the act of summoning monsters into battle. It's not a big deal now, but you have access to the mediums pretty much at all times. So because this is the case, you can sit there and literally summon... Ah, damn it. You can literally summon everything. When I mean everything, you're pretty much all of your mediums that you collect turn into summon creatures like in a Final Fantasy game. And because of that, oh damn it! And because of that, you are able to do really cool stuff. The amount of damage you can do, but here's the deal, it costs 50 FP and it depletes your FP bar. So make sure that you're using them for all the right reasons. What you end up finding out is that it's really Lilka and Tim who end up doing the combined abilities, because you rely so much on Ashley's accessibility later in the game and Brad's rockets and stuff that you don't want to find yourself using it too much. It just makes more sense to not do it. Again? Really? Ah, much further away this time. Not a big deal. Pass it over. And just run. No! No! God damn it. Again. I know this is just an annoying little... This is not even worthy of being called a trial. This is just monotonous. There we go. Whew. I don't think we can actually get up there. No point in fighting battles here either, so don't bother. Alright. Yeah, so in order for me to make that... Nope. Let me check something real quick. Just because I would hate to skip something. No. Easy way to do this. Try it like this, and then sprint diagonally. Should be able to reach it. Got it. No, that seems like it's moving forward. Sorry if I'm taking a long time. I'm trying to think. There's another chest I'm missing, and I think it's this way. So I was going right the first time. Yeah. There's the crest. Okay. Now we just gotta do the little puzzle shtick again. Oh wait, it's already in the fixed position. Alright, so we've gotten there's no more treasure, nothing else to do. Let's freaking get out of here. Or move on, rather. Ow. Sorry. You don't say. Tim Remulus. Ramies? Harold Ramies? No. Tim. And overcome it. The unending trial has awakened us. Ooh. We're thrown into a boss battle. Now this boss battle needs a little bit of explaining. But not much. I'm trying to think of what this guy does. He does nothing great, but what he does do is he makes a twin of himself. So here's how you go about dealing with this. Okay, I don't need a tutorial. First things first, we need to build up Tim's FP. So do it through melee attacks. There's no reason to use magic to make this battle go faster. This is what he does. The boss replicates itself. So by the end of this battle, we're gonna get, I want to say, maybe 2,000 XP a pop. Now here's the deal. If you kill one of the body parts, you'll get, the other body part has a chance of replicating and making another one. Is that something you necessarily want? Yes and no. If you want a power level 10, this is one of the neat little battles in the beginning of the game that you can do that. Personally, I don't see the need to do it, but I'll show you just one example so that way you can see that it can be done. We're going to kill off one of these guys right now. And here's the thing, if you put the physical defense up and you maxed it out on Tim, these guys will do almost no damage to him, that he cannot heal himself. And as you can see, the enemy replicates. Now check this out. Now that one is weaker than the other, I can sit here and pop Gravitron, like so. And then you get into what's called the Uber level system. I'm going to keep killing these things with Gravitron, and they're just going to keep replicating each other, in a sense giving me an unbelievable amount of XP. Now, that sounds amazing. agree, it does. But there's a catch. It only goes to Tim. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll leave that for you, the viewers, to decide. The problem is that a lot of people have with this is you get into kind of a weird balance where Tim is just so overpowered, it's absolutely ridiculous. But I'm not going to complain. It's fun! So, I'm going to let this run for about 2 minutes more. I'm going to do this for about another minute or two, and then we're going to stop. So, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to when I'm kind of tired of giving these things over and over again, so you can kind of see where we go to from here. Alright, I've had enough fun. I've actually didn't go for very long. I think I killed like 5 more. Alright, so let's finish this off with a little Noom de Plume. Let's pop a lucky card. I know that sounds weird, but let's pop a lucky card. Because now it's going to double everything. It's this beautiful thing, you know? Let them pop their pills. And the way to kill these guys is very simple. The trick to killing these giant things, these ninja-like creatures as they think they are, is to pop on a guardian that's not Orduyuk, but let's say Fangalon. Why not? Go ahead and go into there, hit combine, and watch the damage fly. You can also kill them like with the same means that I did, but I obviously did that little mid breakup just to make it so I could get lots of free kills. But easier said than done, some people might argue, but it's pretty easy to do. Not even much of a boss fight. As you can see, that'll end the boss fight, literally. Now let's see there. Look at that, 56,000 XP and Gela, level 26. Oh, that's just glorious. Yeah, totally just went in there and blew the shit out of that thing. So, was that a waste of time? No, it was not. So I ended up with about 30,000, or no, 25,000, and then by, you know, by using the lucky card, boosted Tim up very, very high. So, that's a nice perk there. Yeah, feel your excitement. Yeah. So if you were playing Wild Arms 1 or following my Let's Play of Wild Arms 1, there's a little leveling trick right there for at least one of your main characters. Aww, he's having a hard time believing he did it because he's such a young, inexperienced person. Our little Tim is growing up. And so now everybody can combine, even when Pooka's not in even when Tim is not in the battle party. If they have the medium equipped, they can summon using their FP. So that's always awesome. So I teased you. I gave you a bullshit, didn't I? And you guys were like, oh, this episode's going to be boring. Well, you stayed tuned, so you got to see the neat little secret. And apparently there's a small relationship growing between these two. Isn't it so cute? Oh, you're the first. All right. It could be. You just have to know what having a boner is. Sorry, was that too blunt? Mm-hmm. And we just get the mother load of healing items. Sweet. If you give a crap. And this is where the dark truth is learned. We again have the pillow to roll a decision no matter what the vision is meant. What? What do you think they're talking about? Uh-oh. Your life was offered to the Guardians as pillar. That's strange. Didn't you know? No, they didn't tell us anything. And I like how they're so nonchalant about it. It doesn't matter. It's like, yeah, totally. We're gonna come and you know, we're gonna cut you into little pieces, and you know, we're gonna put you on the top of a little bed of, you know, tomb, and then rip your heart out. You know, onum shidai, onum shidai, onum shidai, onum shidai, onum shidai, onum shidai. Hopefully, Indiana Jones will save us. So this didn't go in a dark direction at all. No. They just want us to die. Okay, now it's starting to get creepy. They beat him up and cut him into little pieces, only to be found in a basement somewhere in Cincinnati, Ohio. That might have been some truth to that. No. So it appears that Mr. Goody Two-Shoes will not allow them to follow through this sacrifice because it's morally and ethically wrong. And apparently now we're in trouble. Dila Metallica. Maybe you escaping. Shit just got real, yo. Of course we're going. Be an idiot not to. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and save after we equip our, you know, summons back on everyone. Rudiuk, Studark, or Grudiev. Do that. Lilika can have Rudiuk. And on the next episode of Let's Play Wild Arms 2, the second ignition, we figure out what the hell's going on with this killing and all this dark shit. We'll see you there.